So much, and so many things are happening. Like I said, everything, there's going to be so much going on over these next several rest until the election day. Absolutely non-stop. So I hope you have your popcorn. I hope you got your seatbelts on, because this is a wild ride, folks. And since the media is not covering it appropriately, and since we are the news now, we have to give this the context it needs. So, where do we begin? All right, let's go ahead and begin with Bob Barr and his huge shot over the bow of the people that are protesting, and letting them know how deadly serious this is. So Bob Barr is giving permission to everybody up and down the line that, hey, it's okay to charge these people with sedition. That this is where we are now. So, and sedition is the real deal. So, this is getting the country back in order before the election. So we are 45 days out from the election. I'll check the countdown in a minute. But this is now getting everybody on level and on point. So first of all, rioters, that stuff's stopping. It's about to get as serious as a heart attack, to use 80s terminology, 80s and 90s terminology, so that everybody understands what exactly is going down. Secondly, Bob Barr has made a huge pronouncement. The Department of Justice is now looking at these lockdowns as unconstitutional. So come election time, the whole coronavirus is going to be gone. It will be a non-issue. People will have to go to the ballot box to elect, to vote. And Bob Barr has yet to, but he will be moving against these states that are putting in place mail-in voting. That if you're gonna do mail-in voting, then you have to have a security chain, and that's coming. So, boom, 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 Every day this week, something huge is coming down the pipe. Yesterday, it was the virus, the vaccine that'll be ready towards the end of September. For every move they have, we have a counter move. Is it going to be mandatory? No. No. And mandatory vaccination is unconstitutional. Right there. I mean, that won't even begin to pass any court. If you want to fly into a country and they're asking you to have certain vaccines, that's another thing entirely. But forcing an American citizen to take a vaccine is becoming unconstitutional. If the left pushes this very hard, then the whole vaccination program of medicine is going to be taking a very good long look to see if forcing all of these kids to take vaccinations before they go to school is actually constitutional. And what are the real impacts? So this could quickly become a very constitutional question. But finally, and this isn't the only major thing that Bob Barr talked about yesterday. Yesterday he came out swinging with both fists. Barr has asked prosecutors to explore charging Seattle mayor over protest zone. So if this has leaked, then it means prosecutors are going to prosecute the Seattle mayor over malfeasance in office. Malfeasance is a real charge, and it can be very, very serious. So finally on Bob Barr, he made a huge statement yesterday in his speech as well about prosecutors, that no longer is the Department of Justice going to prosecute people. The Department of Justice is prosecuting crimes. So that's an acknowledgement that over, we don't know how many years, how many decades, the Department of Justice has been used as a political tool to go after people. And those days are coming to an end. And I have to throw Austin Steinbart into this group of people that are persecuted for their personalities and for the political agendas as opposed to committing an actual crime. So this afternoon, in my breaking news segment, I'm going to do a deep dive into reading and doing an analysis of the complaint against Austin, and so I can have a firm understanding before I go asking a lot of questions. So later on today, look for a breaking news, and we're going to do a deep dive into the charges that have been pressed and the complaint against Austin Steinbart, which I just truly feel this is completely and utterly political. Please let us never lose sight of Saul Alinsky's 12 rules for radicals. And the one that we're going to stay focused in on is pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it, which is what Saul Alinsky and the Marxist and the evil ball cult that has dominated the world has successfully been able to do to humanity. They've been able to, through their Operation Mockingbird, control so much of humanity simply by causing division and infiltration. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky people. Memorize that. See it when it's happening so you can identify it. Pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, polarize it. And normal humanity What we do is we see a problem and try to solve it. What Marxists do is create unsolvable problems so that you hate the society that you live in. That's what they do. All right. So I want to go to begin our study of the web. I do like to take first 10 or 15 minutes before we do our study of this at this point to go over breaking news, because that's how it's going to be until the election. After the election, it's going to be crazy as well. But 10 or 15 minutes of every show is going to be devoted to breaking news. And today is September 17th. We have 47 days until the election. If you guys have not seen it yet, Q has been dropping crumbs, letting us know what is going on. This drop right here, focusing on what is going on with the military and military satellite, and just the modern shift that our military is taking, is very, very impressive. Kind of scary, but very, very impressive. And the Secretary of Department of Defense is brilliant. He is very well educated and very well studied, and has a capacity that is quite impressive. He is one of the best and the brightest, as far as I can tell. Secretary Espy, Dr. Espy, Secretary Dr. Espy. Next is the drop talking about Epstein and the connection between Victoria's Secrets. Obviously, Victoria's Secrets was feeding young models to Epstein. Epstein was taking these young models and putting them in this pedophile lifestyle. And we have two pictures, and these were not released by the people that had them. These are dropped by the NSA. NSA sees everything and has everything. So the bottom picture here of Prince Andrew with the girl in the bikini is a brand new picture. We have not seen this. This is a new NSA drop, another bombshell. And right now, all that we want to do is cause pain, consternation, suffering, embarrassment, humiliation to all of those people that have done so much bad. I've got to talk about one more thing. But this picture dropped, and showing the best that you can of Bill's activities while he was on that trip with Epstein in the flying whorehouse, Lolita Express. And this Mickey clock is brilliant. First of all, let's not forget who and what Disney is. Those of us who are inside. Amy, 888, good morning, and thank you for joining the Breadcrumbs Project as a member. I have not had a chance to thank you enough, and so just wanted to thank you for becoming part of the Fellowship of the Crumb. So thank you so much for being a fellow, and thank you for joining us this bright morning. So this picture again was a bomb dropped by NSA and Department of DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, and it's just letting them know we have everything. They have everything. We being the American public, we the people. And now this Disney Mickey Mouse image doing the 10 after 10, which is the famous Rolex time. All right, that is famous Rolex time. So if you look at all Rolex watches, they have the time 10 after 10. This is also alluding to an earlier drop of saying, set your alarm clock. And I believe this is saying the time is now. Everything is going to be happening over the next several days. And yes, one of the biggest bombs to drop was yesterday. When I say bombs, it's the boom, 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 booms that Q has been talking about. Understand that Brennan, Clapper, and asked prosecutors to explore charges over CHOP. With Seattle mayor too. All right, Portland, Seattle. Let's see, Brennan. Where is the Brennan story? Of course, it's been pushed off the front lines. Brennan, Clapper, testify. So we don't know if Clapper has been interviewed or not by the Department of Justice or not, because the Department of Justice right now is leak free. Barr has tightened that thing down so tight that we are not getting any leaks. Also, it is offices outside of DC in Washington that are running these investigations, and they're running it in conjunction with the Defense Intelligence Agency, NSA, and military sources, which are just super quiet. But we do know that Brennan was, I want to say spoken to, but he was deposed at Langley, CIA headquarters, 2-3 weeks ago. So all of that, everything that he has said has been recorded and analyzed, and to see if he committed perjury. But everything that they're going to ask him at this hearing is going to be from that investigation and the answers he gave. And he is going to be under oath here too. So he's already given witness testimony to the Department of Justice. And if he perjures himself during these committee hearings, Department of Justice is the ones that prosecute. The Senate doesn't prosecute. Department of Justice is going to go, oh, look, you just lied to the Senate. You just lied to Congress. And that's a charge. So Brennan is going in there in a different capacity entirely than the last previous times that he has testified before the Congress. Now he has given sworn testimony at Langley under the most secure places possible, and with all the information at the fingertips that the Department of Justice needed. Asked him all the questions, got all the responses. They're doing their investigation on perjury charges and fulfilling the investigation. But now when Brennan goes to speak, he knows that the Department of Justice has all the answers already, and he has got to give the right answers in front of Congress. And I don't think he can plead the Fifth. At this point, I don't think he can legally plead the Fifth. Maybe so. I am not an attorney, but he has talked in front of Congress enough. Usually the Fifth applies to someone that has never spoken to Congress and reserves that right. Brennan has given up that right. So we're going to see how that plays out. But when the Senate is going to ask the questions, Department of Justice is going to be monitoring the answers for perjury. So a trial is not as public as a congressional hearing. And this is going to be shocking moments. We know now Comey is going to testify in front of, what committee does, the story was here. So those guys are going to have to tell their story. Those guys are going to have to tell the story and tell the truth. Let's see, Comey. testifying. Senate. And it's set for this September 30th. Lindsey Graham. So we already have a confirmation that Comey is going to testify in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. The Senate Judiciary Committee has oversight over the Department of Justice. And conditions are way different now. Department of Justice is going to be seeing if Comey is committing perjury. We've got the documentation. We've got the ruling from the FISA court that all the information, all the requests that they put before them that were fulfilled were fraudulent. So it is just boom, boom, boom. All right, very cool. Very, very cool. All right. So, as we understand everything that's happening, we have to appreciate that circumstances are so different, and this is going to change everything. This is the October surprise. September, but there's going to be more surprises all down the line through the next 44 days. Appreciate that. Like I said, if you haven't bought your popcorn yet, the shelves may be empty. Speaking of shelves empty, I am praying for all my friends and dear close friends that were in the way of the hurricane. They are all okay in Pensacola Beach. A lot of damage to vehicles, a lot of flooding, but thankfully everybody ended up okay. All right, now I don't have much for today's investigation. Why? This is where we're at right now. And this is, again, why I say that this is NSA generated. There is no information really that backs up this assertion that Switzerland was established in 1291 by the Templars. If you go look online and for the history books, there's just no information on the Sisters of Isis, period. They've been scrubbed. They have absolutely been scrubbed from the interwebs. This is the only place I think that is talking about them. But two things tell you that this is true. First of all, what was Switzerland always known for? Always known for up until recently, as being the banking center of the world. Especially if you wanted to hide your money. If you wanted to hide money, you put it in a Swiss bank and nothing is disclosed. That was the only place in the world that you could do that. That was the only place. There was tons of Nazi money there. There's tons of Rothschild money there. I don't know about the Soros fortune, but I'm sure the Soros fortune was there too. So the amount of Illuminati money that was in Switzerland is indicative of Templars, and the obfuscating is totally Templar. And then you have two more things. So there's actually three things that really make you understand that the Swiss were established by the Templars. First is the secret hiding banky thingies. All right. Second is the very unusual Swiss flag. Very, very unusual Swiss flag. Red with a white cross. And that's just not any cross. That is a Templar's cross. They hide in plain sight. You look at them with your eyes wide shut. And finally, Swiss Guard. Why does the Vatican need a Swiss Guard? What is the connection between the two? Seriously. This is a bizarre relationship because the Swiss Guard are basically the bodyguards of the Pope. And it is indicative, and so I'm studying this along with you. It is indicative of this relationship right here, all the way around. It establishes that lineage. So, understanding the Jesuits, although they are the military of the Pope, they are the assassins of the Pope. They can't openly carry arms. But, and especially if you're fronting, if you're LARPing the Vatican as a place of peace, when actually it's probably the most demonic place on the planet. But if you can sell your people on the wonderful Swiss coming to protect the Pope as just a noble thing to do, well, then you've got it. But all they've done is reestablish that connection, openly, that connection between the Knights Templar and the Pope, and ultimately the worship of Baphomet, the Satanic Order. So this is an absolutely fascinating thing to be looking at and studying and pulling together these pieces. It really, really is. The Templars didn't disband; they just had to move operations. When the Templars was disbanded on Friday the 13th, that's how Friday the 13th became so famous, 1307, with the Templar Purge, those Templars who could escaped. They never got the ships, and the ships of the Templars were laden with gold because that's how they operated. They used their shipping to transport money and refresh their banks all over the world. So the Templar ships were fleets of gold, and wherever they landed after the purge, those areas became very rich with very secret societies happening. So you can absolutely bet your bottom dollar that a lot of the Templars ended up in Switzerland, nice and quietly, established a banking dynasty, maintained their Templar order, and came back to the Pope in the form of the Swiss Guard, rebranded themselves in the form of the Swiss Guard. How about that? How about that? That's the Breadcrumbs Project, pulling the breadcrumbs together and making sense of this amazing document pulled together by the Q Group and distributed by the Deep State Mapping Project. So if you want to get a copy of this, deepstatemappingproject.com. If you want to become a member of the Fellowship of the Crumb, please do. This is our official t-shirt. It says Fellowship of the Crumb. Where we go one, we go all. And we are using, unbeknownst to us, we are using the loose structure that the Q group uses, which is wizards, warlocks, bread makers, and just basically your Lord of the Ring nerdisms, because I'm sure they're just as nerdy about Lord of the Rings as most of us are out here. And that's kind of neat. So I am Captain Crumb. This is the Breadcrumbs Project, and you've been watching what we do here, which is pull together all the crumbs and make sense of it all. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, because you can imagine that I'm absolutely shadow banned. YouTube, Google hates my guts. So that'd be great if you could do more, and that's join the channel. That way I know I don't lose you and we can stay in contact. We're going to be doing Zoom meetings every Friday with the membership, and growing the activities that the memberships does, the fellowship, and giving structure to the fellowship, getting everybody in line. This is the beginning of the end. Let me say this. After the election will be the beginning of the end. So right now, the troops need to stay informed. Troops need to stay motivated. So many things are happening out there. Let me pull up one more detail. I'm probably going to go an hour long on this one, guys, because there is just so much going on. So apologies there. That's not where I wanted to go. And I'm looking over here, so I'm working on the computer. I'm surfing the web, and so you guys don't have to suffer through that. And let's see. Let's come on, you can do it, internet. So, well, yeah, there's one more piece of news that I wanted to get out there, and it is not here. Let me go to the Twitter machine again. Apologize, because there's so much news that I have to move it everywhere and keep track of it. I mean, there's so much hidden news, because the mainstream media doesn't cover it, and we, as the new media, do have to cover it. All right, where is the piece? All right, one very cool thing actually that's happening, that's giving everybody kittens. Oh, you guys were watching the surfing anyways. One of the cool things, because I didn't transition the camera over, sorry. So one of the cool things that's happening is Kanye West is going after the music industry hard and fast, and really putting a lot of the music industry on blast right now. And this is really putting things in an uproar and affecting the music community greatly. And it's making rappers turn on their music labels. It's making rappers turn on the music labels, and that is Operation Mockingbird. So what Kanye West is doing is engaging Operation Mockingbird within the rap community. He is just as much a digital warrior as we are. He is just as much a part of the 17th Anonymous Battalion as we are, because the music industry is a Operation Mockingbird program, all of it. So this is going to cause great consternation within the hip hop and the rap community. And again, we are 44 days from our election. They did not need this. They did not need Kanye to come after him. And yet, here he goes. God. Yes, this is where it is. All right. So, what's coming out, and the point that we've been making, is that the numbers do not justify what is happening. This is not a pandemic. We're not having a morbidity rate that justifies the action and reaction. We have treatments, we have programs, hospitals are able to handle the volume of infirmities, and most of the people are being treated just fine at home. And something that somebody pointed out is that, have you noticed that nobody dies at home from this virus? Everybody dies in a hospital, which is a great irony. And there has been a lot of discussion and facts coming out that everybody that has died from this pandemic took the flu shot. What is the flu shot? It's a vaccine that wasn't even 20% effective. I can tell you the number of people that I knew that took the flu shot, that got the flu, was impressive. Impressive. If the flu was going through that community, the flu shot didn't offer any protections at all. And it's come to light, what does a vaccine do? It strengthens your immunity system, supposedly. Well, then why don't you just strengthen it naturally? That's doable. Exercise, eating right, strengthens your immunity far more than the vaccine ever will. So let's understand that clearly. And there is an email that has come out that says that in Nashville that there was fraud perpetrated on their citizens and dereliction of duty by the elected officials by trying to inflate the drama of the virus by hiding the actual numbers. And that's what's been done all over the world. Everybody's talking about, oh, there's more infection, there's more infection. The hospitals aren't seeing it. And if they are, there's a treatment. Most folks can be sent home with treatment. The only countries that are having any quote-unquote problems are the ones that are refusing the treatments. Hydroxychloroquine with zinc. I don't think it's allowed here in Spain. I'll have to do some more checking. And resmetiviv, which has been highly effective, highly effective. So this is the environment we are. This is a complete and utter takeover of the system and trying to intimidate us so they can throw the election. But the beauty is that because we know their playbook, we know exactly what they're talking about, we're able to have the counter moves to their moves. And we are on a war footing, and they don't understand that capacity. Now, I really wanted to bring up the Mickey Mouse clock again, because as many people say that there is in anything that Q puts out, because they're wizards, because they're warlocks, they like to have fun and play with code. It's what you do. I mean, if you're brilliant and your life is working through and with codes, and it's just part of what you do, then it's your hobby. So the Mickey Mouse symbology has a lot more to it than most of us understand. So if we can remember this drop that we studied, to set my alarm clock. And then there is another drop that came out, 9:13. Did Kevin set his alarm clock? And now comes the Mickey, which is basically showing the alarm clock. And the hands go 10 to 10, but they also indicate other code built in. So if we see on the Q clock, which I am very new to, 9/11/2020 is coming off of the 10 o'clock hand. And this is when this drop was done. And then the second, this hand over here establishes September 14th and basically through the 25th. And then we have a big hidden one that September 20th, 23rd through 30th are going to be huge. So that's all the hidden code that is in our system of the Q. This is kind of fanciful for those who appreciate and understand it, and those that do have more often than not, very more often than not, been vindicated when the events actually happen. So, yeah, did Kevin set his alarm clock? 10:10. Very, 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 very good. All right, and let's just go take a look at the Fox News. And one more piece of news that came out is that Facebook has been censoring the Chinese virologist that has been telling the truth. We have to appreciate that Facebook's owner's wife is Chinese, and so is his sister. We know his sister-in-law. So Zuckerberg's wife and sister-in-law are 100% Chinese. The funding that they received, part of the massive quiet funding that Zuckerberg received was through Chinese entities. If Facebook was a CIA operation, and much of the other financial public monies that came in through Illuminati owned and operated companies like Microsoft. Microsoft is a top 10 investor in Facebook. Bet you didn't know that. That's the research that we do here that lets us pass that on to you. So the Facebook machine is censoring this Chinese dissident. And all of you who are experiencing Facebook's hysterical fact checkers can see that this is a Democratic Party operation to fight back as much as they can through censorship, the push that is going through Facebook. Although Zuckerberg denies it, Facebook is pretty much a conservative-dominated platform at this point. It is just what you see. And one of the things that really has made that popular is the ability for the right to meme. Conservatives, we know how to meme. We can do it. We can pass on the funny jokes. And we have changed a lot of people's perspective on this. And through the shutdown, so many people have been red-pilled. So many people. We have a great conversation with Tatiana from Tati Talks News. If you haven't watched her episodes, she does great work. She is absolutely entertaining, very intelligent, well-spoken, and presents her material much better than I do. And she was red-pilled through this whole COVID process. And you can just look at the walkaway movement, and when this COVID process started to become ludicrous, they had a huge upswing in people that joined their Facebook page. And Zuckerberg sees this. All those engineers see this, and they're freaking out because their customer base is conservative. What makes them happy is that they're able to track us and follow us. But at this point, without their CIA connections, this data is basically useless to them. It's great to know, but what they're seeing scares the heck out of them. Is that's a conservative wave is coming through the system, and it's a powerful one. It is a very, very, very powerful one. All right, giving it 10 minutes for any question and answer period. Drop a comment in the comment section in the live stream chat, or send an email to info@breadcrumbsproject.com, and I'll be happy to answer it. And let me go back again and reiterate what we're talking about in the Q web, and that is the uncomfortable feeling and opinion that the Vatican is controlled and part of the Illuminati. And the Illuminati is a very real group. The Rothschilds are a banking empire that are part of one of the oldest families that goes back to Samaria. Goes back to the Canaanite times. It's a Canaanite family. And they were very involved in Templars. And that's how they become so powerful in the banking business. And the Rothschild banking empire owns every national bank in the world. Bank of Taiwan, Bank of the Philippines, National Bank of the Philippines, National Bank of Spain, National Bank of France, all the Europe, but all of them except for the United States, because the United States took care of that a couple of years ago by nationalizing the Fed. Russia threw the Rothschilds out, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. Here, I have the article up here. Uh, 4 years ago, March 25th, 2015 was when the article came out. So back in 2015, there was, it's not started, but that's when Q and all of the players started to make moves against the Rothschilds. But in 2015, the central bank of Russia threw out the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are banned from Russia, from doing business, from entering Russia, to having anything to do with Russia. And George Soros has a warrant out for his arrest in Russia. So understanding the complexities of what's happening around the world is huge. Hey, Sean Waller, thank you so much for becoming a fellow of the Crumb. Thanks for joining. I'm sure you're a subscriber as well. Thank you so much. And we'll be having a Zoom meeting around 2 or 3 o'clock Eastern time Friday, if you can join. I would love to have you. And so we'll see how that goes. That's my first live Zoom meeting with membership. And if it's a struggle for people in the U.S., we'll work something out. We will definitely work something out. So the Central Bank of Russia belonged to a foreign city, the city of London, and the Bank of England, and the city of London is a city within a city. So you have London and Great Britain, and sorry for this thing you're going to hear. All right. You have London in Great Britain, but you also have the City of London, and that's a central part of London where the Bank of England is, Lloyd's of London, the House of the Lord Mayor, but it's a central part of London that's a distinct different city from the Township of London. And that's where the Rothschild Empire is, in the Bank of England. And that's how they've been able to maneuver themselves. But no longer in Russia. So these three countries are mounting a massive war against the Rothschilds Empire. So as soon as President Trump is able to win his election coming up, then the rest of the countries will start making their moves against the Rothschild dynasty. And the Rothschild dynasty is going to lose power over all these national banks around the world. Because China, Russia, and the United States, along with other countries, will go ahead and start giving other options than having to borrow money from the Bank of England or the Rothschild dynasty. And they don't borrow money. Rothschild comes in and just gives them money by buying stock in the bank. So a bank needs to capitalize and they can't afford to borrow money, then an entity will come in and just buy stock and just give them free money for paper. And yay. But after a while, they start to buy more and more stock because there's more and more borrowing requirements for the state, and eventually the Rothschilds become 50% plus one owners of these national banks. It's been a crazy thing to experience. So yeah, this is the war that we're on. All right, let's see if we have any questions. Just double making sure. Check the email machine. Doesn't seem like anything has come in. And again, thank you so much, Sean, for joining and becoming a member of the Fellowship of the Crumb. Please drop me an email, by the way, at info@breadcrumbsproject.com. Yep. Yeah, they've been spoiling it, and it's just been going on for thousands of years, Sean. Drop me an email at info@thebreadcrumbsproject.com so I can send you information on the Zoom meeting that we're having Friday, and just have some good times and make some plans also that what we do here, if you want to participate, then that you have that ability to do so. And I'd like to make the membership as proactive as possible. So yay, Sean, thank you so much. No, the pleasure is absolutely mine. Thank you so much for that acknowledgement and that help, and coffee toast to you. All right, other merch that we have is the Think Good Thoughts, Do Good Deeds, Say Good Words t-shirt, and then we have certainly our Q merchandise. And I just, not only is it our merch, of course, and I'm very proud of it, but it's also the Q shirts that we sell is a way for us to be able to get that Q letter out there, and to really continue to intimidate the left, the Marxists, and the people that really hate us are the Illuminati, because we're really causing consternations to them, both in the public arena here on the internet, but the private war that's being waged against them by Q Group is causing so much pain that they hate the letter Q. They hate the number 17. They hate the word quantum. They hate us. So get out there and show more of it. Great t-shirts, great hoodies. The t-shirts are super fine quality. The cotton weave is tremendous. I am so pleased with the production value, and the silk screening is top notch. double stitching on just about all parts of the shirt, so no loose threading. I'm very happy, and it's very, very soft cotton too. So again, it's a high thread count, very, very high-end t-shirts. So go out there and get that Q merch, and if it's not from our store, then some other store. Definitely, I don't care who it's from, prefer it's from us, but get that Q out there as much as we can before this election. All right. Again, thank you, Sean, for becoming a fellow of the Crumb, and we will be in touch. And have a great day out there. I'm going to wind this up. Because I have to pay bills and I have to go to work too. So thank everybody for watching. I think we're doing good work here on the channel, and I will be back on for later on, probably about 4 or 5 hours, to do a emergency broadcast. Not emergency broadcast, that was silly. A breaking news. I'm going to do a deep dive on the allegations and the charges being pressed against Austin Steinberg, and I feel like this is same situation as a Julian Assange, and that this is a trumped up allegations and used as a political persecution solely. So we'll be doing that. And please continue to pray, build your spirituality, think good thoughts, do good deeds, and say good words. Thank you again, everyone, and especially thank you, Sean. Here, my email is hold the line, info, and I'm typing it into the chat right now, info at the Breadcrumbs project.com. So I'm putting it in the chat screen, the breadcrumbsproject.com. All right. So there it is. Sean, copy and paste that, and drop us a note, and we'll get you zoomed up and ready for the meeting Friday and the festivities, and for all the crazy stuff that's going to be coming down the line. Every day is going to be boom, 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 boom. This has all been planned out. Trust the plan. Hold the line, and keep pushing. All right, here we go again. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.